Unbelievable, unbelievable, unbelievable. I'm not even waiting. I'm not waiting for anybody to come up here. If you don't log in, I totally understand. If you don't contribute, I totally understand. If you are, if you went to sleep, I totally understand. Let me intro. This is the Six for Sixers podcast. I'm so embarrassed. I'm not even gonna get my name, but let's just say the Six for Sixers podcast. And let's just say I'm a man with a straight up bag on my head because this was the worst loss of the season. And I'm not really sure where this team goes from here. This was one of those games that I had already counted as a win. I watched the entire game and I actually at certain points was like, all right, let me go ahead and start writing on my review of the game. It's pretty much a wrap. There's no way. I mean, we're just too good for this team. They don't have Ja Morant. They don't have Desmond Bain. They really only have Jared Jackson. So there's no way. And we found a way. I won't even put it on them. I mean, shout out to Memphis for not giving up. But we found a way to lose the game at home right during the closing minutes of the game. The Sixers lose to the Memphis Grizzlies 115 to 109. This is the Six for Sixers podcast. What we do on the Six for Sixers podcast is we break the game down in 6 points. I really, man, I don't even know if I can. I know I can come up with 6 points, but I got like a couple really long points. And so I'm gonna try to do it in six, and then I'm getting out of here because I can't even. It's late. My family's sleeping. I can't even go off like I want to. So I can't even be up on here too long. If you have a comment, you want to share something from the game or something you observed, please put it in the comment section and I'll shout you out. Oh man. All right, game summary. Game summary was the Sixers were down players again, as we always are. That's one of my points. But I'll get into it later. But we were down Tyrese Maxey, concussion symptoms, Joel Embiid, obviously, DeAnthony Melton, Robert Covington, and also Kyle Lowry. Tarquavion Smith did not play. I can't even, man. This was the worst loss of the season. And Memphis was also down. Obviously, Ja Morant, Desmond Bain, some of their starters as well. So I felt coming in that in terms of talent wise, we had the upper hand and felt it was a game that we should have won. And at certain points in the game, it appeared as if we should have won. And it appears as if we had it pretty much in hand. And they just let it go in the fourth quarter, basically. So terrible loss tonight by the Sixers. And let's get into my 6 points so I can get up out of here. Because it's really not worth, I mean, come on. It's really not worth our time like that. If they're not gonna put any effort into the game or play 4 quarters of a game. And I know, man, I try to watch what I say because I'm like, all right, I don't want nobody to hit me with the, oh, you're not an NBA player. You never played in the NBA. No, I never played in the NBA. But come on, man. I do work really hard at my job and I go all out every day. I don't take breaks on my job. Like I work really, really extremely hard. And there's no point in my work day where I'm just chilling. I just go all out. So that's where I'm coming from. Point number one, Nick Nurse. I'm growing real tired of Nick Nurse, and I've kind of given him the benefit of the doubt because of the fluctuation in the lineups and having to deal with multiple injuries and whatever's going on. So I've kind of given him a lot of leeway. I liked Nick Nurse a lot in the beginning of the season. I still like some of the things Nick Nurse is doing. For example, giving guys opportunities that normally wouldn't he wouldn't get an opportunity. But I'm growing tired of looking up at every play that he thinks should be challenged. He looks up at the score. He looks up at the monitor like, oh, let me see, let me see, let me. He's looking at the refs. He's doing his little, oh, like what? Cut it out. Cut it out because it's over. Stop, stop acting on the sidelines. Get in the huddle. Get your clipboard out. Get your little expo marker, erasable marker, and draw something up. And I don't see that. I see him doing a lot of crying and complaining. And I see them taking teams for granted. And they took Memphis for granted tonight. They thought, hey, whatever. Like, the Grizzlies ain't coming into Wells Fargo getting a win. Like the Grizzlies really, really bad this year. We can pretty much do what we want. You know what I mean? So the problems I have with Nurse in specific is at the end of the game, there were lack of set plays. No, they did at the very end with Oubre, but then that got blocked. So there you go with that. But that was the only real set play that I saw. It was just kind of hand the ball off one on one. Hey, Tobias, go do what you could do, which was nothing, which I'll get into that. It was Kelly Oubre. Hey, you got 20 some points. Maybe you can do it. And it was like JV basketball. It was a scramble. The ball was popping around everywhere. Guys were scrambling. They weren't rebounding on offense. They weren't even really trying to rebound. It was like one and done, one shot, and that's it. It was no, it was no flow to the offense at all. Tobias Harris was playing point forward. Why is Tobias Harris playing point forward, bringing the ball up when you started with Campaign? Campaign was playing point guard, start as a starter. He was on the floor with Tobias. Why is Tobias now playing point forward, bringing the ball up, trying to initiate the offense? That's just crazy to me. So I mean, I never coached in the NBA. I never played in the NBA, but it just looks crazy. It does not look like a professional basketball team. It doesn't look like a professional organization. And it doesn't look like the coach has them playing together. So point number one is Nick Nurse, man, stop crying. Stop looking at the refs. Stop looking up at the monitors. Should I challenge that? Oh, look at that. Look up there. Look, he didn't even do that. And just coach the team. And if you don't have the ability to coach the team, let's get somebody else. Please, somebody get Mark Jackson out the commentary booth and let him coach again. Please stop blackballing him because that was my pick from the beginning anyway. Or we should have just stuck with Doc Rivers. But because this is not working out, and I don't care about the fluctuation of lineup. You know, it's just not. It's not good coaching, regardless. I mean, especially, and I understand we're not going to beat a lot of teams, but Memphis Grizzlies, we're capable of beating. Point number one, Nick Nurse, lack of set plays in the fourth, zero ball movement. It just resorted to like a one-on-one type offense, and Memphis shut that down. Number two, Defense was getting no stops again, fourth quarter. Now, if you watch the whole game in the second quarter, defense was stellar. I mean, they were getting turnovers, they were getting stops, they were getting block shots, steals, the whole 9 yard. They were getting them active hands in the passing lane. And then in the fourth quarter, it just all crumbled. Second quarter, we outscored Memphis 19-33. Fourth quarter, we got outscored 34-16. So you see where the defense stopped being aggressive. Defense was not making plays on the ball. Paul Reed, who started out, but I had a point for Paul Reed if they won, but then they just he stopped playing too. And he stopped playing defense, and Memphis took advantage. And Memphis didn't give up. Shout out to Memphis for not giving up. And they just crept right back on in the game, and they just dominated the fourth quarter. Just took it over. And that's really where the game was lost. So that's point number two, defense. They stopped being scrappy. I don't know if they got tired. I don't know what happened. But the defense got really bad in the fourth quarter. And you kind of saw hints of it in the third. Even though we won the third, you could kind of see like the team was slowing down a little bit. And then in the fourth, it just went bananas. Point number two, defense, no stops in the fourth quarter, and no intensity. Point number three, Swiss Army knife. The Swiss Army knife was like, you know how like the knife, you pull it out and it's effective, like it has all the prongs, like you might pull out a screwdriver, or you might pull out something, a blade that you can cut something with, or a bottle opener or whatever. Well, the Swiss Army knife was all folded up today. There was no tools out today. Swiss Army knife was inept, and it was like impotent. And I think Nurse was trying to help you out, Harris, because he was moving you around, and you had opportunities. You had a lot of opportunities. So can't blame it on that. Sometimes I say, well, Harris is moved around and he doesn't get the ball, and he was the fourth option. And I've been saying that. I've been riding with you. He's the fourth option, and by the time Harden dribbles and Maxey gets in, and then Embiid and Harris is sitting in the, well, guess what? Maxey's not there, Embiid's not there, Harden's not there. So, sir, it's on you now. And you did not show up today. You had 8 points. You had under. I mean, I think if I got in the NBA right now, I could score like 4. I think I could give him at least 4 a game. But sir, you got 8, and you've been playing in the NBA a long time. And yeah, he wasn't even a butter knife, because at least a butter knife can do some damage if you just, jam it in. Wasn't the blade wasn't even out. There was no blade. 3 for 12. 1 for 4 for 3, 25% from 3. And he just like wasn't even involved in the game offensively, or really even in any aspect. I mean, he had 7 boards, but you couldn't really see it in the game, because when it counted, when we really needed the boards, Jared Jackson got him, not Tobias Harris. Swiss Army knife. I've been riding with you. I've been objective, but you got to do better than that. I was riding with him on the post saying I would give him 20 to 25, but I'm with my brother John Jervy, and I'm going with I don't know, I'm going with 10 million now, or just time might be up. Time might be up, because it's just not. Games like this are games where you are expected to take over. I mean, it's perfect. A team like Memphis, they're not that big. It's a perfect game to have a great 25 to 30 point outing and take over and show everybody that, what I've been saying about you is right. So I can't ride with you today. Point number three, Tobias Harris was horrible. And he was literally in the plus minus category of zero, meaning you didn't have any impact on the game at all. Zero. So point number three, Harris, you got to get better, man. I don't know at this point in the season. I don't know what's going to take. I think time is up. I don't think it's any reconciliation. I actually think if they bring him back at this point, fans will be really upset that he comes back. So I don't think I don't know. I don't think the re-signing of him is going to work. Point number four, load management. I'm tired of this, man. I'm be honest with you. I grew up in the era where guys would play pretty much. It was rare when a guy had an injury. And when they did have injury, it was something significant, you know, that would keep them out for a few games and then we just get right back in there. Um uh these days I just have a hard time with the with whatever's going on. I don't understand it. Like Kyle Lowry, you were just out there. You were just out there, sir, in the last game. You played well. We bigged you up. We gave you some points. And I just don't understand how from one game to the next, you're not playing. And like I said, I grew up in the era where the guys were apparently a lot tougher. Like they took their knocks, they hit their head, you know what I mean? Same way. I like Maxi, I love Maxi, but I don't know, man. You finish the game. I know it can be after effects, but every single game, there is some different in the injury report. And Joel Embiid, I get that. I'm not talking about that. Um, even DeAnthony Melton, I kind of get that because like it's his back. That's a critical part of your body that if that's not properly healed, it's hard to really function when you have a injured back. So I get those type of injuries. I just don't get the day to day. Like a guy is there, he's playing well, he's healthy, he's running around. He didn't apparently twist any ankle. He didn't tear his ACL. You didn't see any horrific fall. He was good. And then the next game, he's out. He's in street clothes. So I think that's really having an effect on the team. And I think to go along with that load management, I think the team is just thinking, well, we had such a good record. We were in third place. We could just kind of coast our way into the playoffs. Like we're just gonna coast. And then at the end of the hill, then Embiid's gonna come back and we're gonna be good again. It doesn't work that way. At this rate, we're losing so many games. And we've been talking on the threads about play in. We're gonna be in the play in. At this rate, I don't even know if we'll make the playoffs at all. We might not even make the play in. We're losing too many games. And in the Eastern Conference, you saw yesterday, we went to seventh place, from like fifth place to seventh place, one loss. So here's another loss. Other teams are not losing at the same rate we are, and just it's simple math that we are going to be in a really bad position. And I think that falls on the coaching and management too, which that's Daryl Morey. Like we really could use Morris Senior right now. A big body. We're losing the rebounding wars. Jackson treated our guys like little boys in the paint, and he just dominated, rebound, dunking, in critical moments of the game. So uh, point number four is load management. I think it's taking a toll on us. I think we need to stop that. If a guy is capable, let him get out there and play, contribute. We really could have used Kyle Lowry tonight because Campaign is just not a starting point guard, and definitely in the closing minutes, Tobias Harris at point forward is just not going to get it. Tobias Harris should be bringing the ball up when there's like no other option, and like everybody's guarded. They clamp down on Maxi and Healed and everybody. And then, okay, that's an emergency situation. Load management is killing us. Point number 4. Point number 5, and this goes back to Nurse. That small ball, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work in the NBA these days. He went small ball at one point and they just killed us. I mean, again, Jackson, he just killed us. He had 11 rebounds, and he had some in the closing seconds that were offensive, where he had a putback. Really, really, really took a toll on us. Look at the team stats real quick. The team stats, total rebounds 54 to 47, and 15 of those were offensive. So that really, really killed us. Playing that small ball, especially in the closing minutes, because that's where you need the rebounds the most. So I don't agree with playing small ball. And one part that really, really upset me was when Paul Reed fouled out. I'm thinking, all right, Mo Bamba should be just popping right off the bench because, we need a big man in there. Nah, Mo Bamba didn't come in. And then what happened? Jared Jackson grabbed the offensive rebound, put back, and that was kind of the play that sealed the game. And then after he got that put back, Nurse put Bamba in the game. But sir, if you would have put him in when Paul Reed came out, that may have not happened. I mean, with Bamba, it may have happened anyway, but it would have been less likely with Mo Bamba in the game as opposed to Nick Batum being in the middle plant trying to rebound. And I like Batum. He's a good guy, but he's not getting a rebound over Jared Jackson Jr. So small ball just doesn't work. Um, it it's just not gonna work for us. And the last point I'm gonna make tonight is actually gonna be a good point, and I'm just gonna shout out Dalton Jr. I think that's how you say his name, Dalton Jr. He played a good game. And that wasn't his debut. Last game was his debut, but he did play some quality minutes. He played really poised. I mean, he signed a two-way contract. He took Kenny Lofton's place, Kenny Lofton Jr., and I think he played a real good game. He was poised. He didn't look like a rookie, or didn't not a rookie, but he didn't look like a player who's not used to playing in the NBA, like kind of Terquavion Smith. He sometimes looks like a player that is not really used to playing in the NBA, needs to settle down a little bit. Ricky Council looked like that in the beginning and had settled down a little bit. But Dalton Jr., he came right in and he contributed really well. He was 4 for 7 field goals. He had 6 assists, 10 points. He was a plus 17 in terms of the plus minus game. If you follow that, he he had the best stat there tonight, plus 17 out of the whole team. So he was highly efficient and played well under pressure. And I like his game. I mean, I don't know how he'll do against the better teams, but I like what he contributed tonight. So that's my 6 points. Uh, and Whew, that's all I got, y'all. I don't know what to do. I'm just worried about the team, and I wasn't even gonna go live today because I was just so upset about the game because I was getting ready. When they win, I got positive points why they won, and then in the fourth quarter, it was just all my points started going out the window. I was gonna shout out KO. John Jervy loves KO. And I had a point for him. I had a point for Doughton. I had a point for the defense because the defense had total of 11 steals. But then in the fourth quarter, it just went over. It went out the window. And I had to change up everything. Said, man, why are we losing this game? So this was a game that we absolutely should not have lost. And Memphis Grizzlies came in and they stole one. The Memphis Grizzlies are 22-41 on the season. We dropped another home game, which are the games that we actually that we actually should win. So, William Colley says, there was no good point tonight. Um, yeah, uh when we play Boston or Bucks team, it's gonna be really tough. I don't see us winning any of those games. The only way, yeah, Jervy, Kelly Oubre, he didn't shoot very well. He played hard though. He goes to the rack really aggressively, and I like that. I can't really take a whole lot from him. He played with aggression, and he plays with aggression when a lot of guys are not. So he didn't have a great shooting night, but he was aggressive. You know, he gets to the basket, and he's not afraid. He doesn't fade away. He doesn't fade away on his shot. He doesn't get in the paint and get blocked every single time. Although he got blocked at the end, I felt like Oubre is a little more athletic than that. I think he could have rose up a little higher on that last play, but he got blocked, okay, but at least he's going to the rim aggressive. At least he's not fading away like Tobias or just dribbling and every time turn around, high arcing jumper, hoping that, or just being 2 feet from the rim and trying to lay it up and getting that block. That's kind of what we get. So shout out. I was gonna shout Oubre out, but the loss can't give any good points. Anyway, Six for Sixers podcast. Anything for the good of the order. Put it in the comments because I'm about really exhausted. I don't think I'm gonna go live for like a week. It's actually easier to write and then just record rather than go live because then there's no interaction. I just record and post it, get it out the way, and keep it moving. Um, uh, Daniel Arthur Gay. No one outside of Kelly and Payne even looked like they wanted the ball in the fourth quarter, let alone wanted to shoot it. And if Heel can't hit or won't keep shooting threes, he's just a liability on the court. Him driving or passing is not a good play, in his opinion. And I agree with that. Fourth quarter, nobody really wanted it. Um, campaign he kind of did, but then Nurse took the ball away from him, gave it to Tobias Harris. So I don't understand that move. Ricky Council, terrible game. I mean, he's just shooting up 3 pointers like Steph Curry. Like, bro, that's not your role on the team. Just shoot from anywhere on the floor just because you want to put up a shot. So he's got a lot to learn, but he's young, so we give him somewhat of a pass. Healed, I thought Healed played pretty well. I just thought that we needed Harris to step up, and he didn't. Thought Batum played really well too, very smart basketball. And Campaign played a good game. It was really Harris. I mean, because if Harris would have at least scored, Harris could have scored 15. We probably would have won the game. But 8 points not going to cut it. All right, everybody. Again, Six for Sixers podcast. I will not say my name and just act like you never saw me in your life. And with this bag on, it's just like I'm just gonna hold this for a little bit until we can get a win. And I even took the logo off. I had the logo on there. So I'm still trying to represent the team. Took the logo off, and I'm just gonna keep rocking with this. You know, till we can at least put some effort into it. It's not even about winning if we can get a loss that we have actually fought hard. Um, and we didn't do that tonight. So I want everybody to get a good night's sleep. Don't even think about the game. Next game up. What's the next game? Somebody put it in the comments. I think it's Memphis, right? I mean, not Memphis, the Pelicans. Zion. Oh my gosh. Oh man. We gotta play the Pelicans next, y'all. That's Friday. Um I don't know, man. Zion and Brandon Ingram and that, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe Tobias will come back from Cabo. Maybe he'll come back and put on a show. Yeah, said Stone says maybe Iverson should get the statue and get a contract. Somebody else suggested that earlier. Was that just give Iverson a contract because he's probably better than half the guys we're putting out on the floor. And then Iverson, Iverson played every game too. He was durable and wasn't none of that low management stuff and all that. I remember a story real quick that I heard that Iverson one time he was injured and they actually um they went in his locker and took all of his sneakers out of the locker because that's how devoted he was to playing. And I heard where Iverson gave one of his handlers some money to go to a Foot Locker or somewhere and said, go give me go give me some Reeboks or whatever and bring them back. And that's how dedicated, and I think this story came from Billy King. That's how dedicated he was to being on the floor. Never saw Iverson, man, get banged up. He was the smallest guy on the floor, really teeter on 6 feet. He wasn't even 6 feet tall. I mean, and get knocked down, banged up, going up against guys like Shaquille O'Neal straight in the paint. And he was still trying to play every game. And even to the point where when the team said, we don't want you to play, he still was going out to the store to buy some sneakers so that he could get in the game. And I don't know where that's gone in the league. That's kind of a dead thing now, where it's acceptable to sit on the bench in your street clothes or not even show up at all to the arena. I mean, guys just staying home. When they're hurt, sometimes they don't show up. Shout out to Melton. He still stays, comes in, but Embiid just comes in, I guess. I don't know how he picks his games, but it does count. I mean, you're still on the team. I mean, when I played ball, you couldn't just if you were injured, you still had to travel with the team. You still had to sit on the bench. And I don't know, maybe I guess in the pros is different, but I think it helps the morale of the team if you're there cheering them on, and it shows your leadership. Anyway, I can't even fathom it. Yep, Joel Reed only wants. Maxie might even decide he wants out after this. I know I think he's restricted, but who knows what's gonna happen in the off season because I wouldn't want to come back. I wouldn't want to come back after this performance or this season because I don't know what the future looks like for this organization. All right, I'm out, y'all. Six for Sixers podcast. I'm your host. And please, if you we always upload to YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube page, please like, share, subscribe to the YouTube page so we can build it up there. We haven't gone live on YouTube because the community here is much larger, but we want to build that up too. All right, y'all can keep chatting it up in the comments, and I'm gonna get off this live, and then I'm gonna chat with you in the comments. But peace. See you at the Pelicans game on Friday. I don't know if we'll go live, but I will post something, either a write up or just a recording of the recap of the game. All right. Have a good night, everybody. And if you're still working, have a good work day tomorrow. Talk